That would be bad. One thing that I might want to suggest to all of you is that chat button. So while I'm going and while I'm talking through all of these points, and if you want to stop and just click the chat button so that you can add some things that you have in mind or that you have questions about, if I don't stop fast enough, somebody should be able to also answer some of those questions. So, all right, so let's talk first about the first thing that came up, which was the idea of saturation. Raise your hand if you have worried or if you have heard someone say that it feels saturated. So first of all, let's address that word of saturated. Saturated means that there are Beachbody coaches everywhere. And when you talk to someone, they already have a coach or they know 10 people who are Beachbody coaches. So you just think to yourself, man alive, is everybody a Beachbody coach? So first thing we need to do is we need to make sure we have the mentality that that is not the case, because it is not the case. But whatever you choose to believe is going to be your truth. You have no control over who signed up who as a coach, except for what you can control, which is who did I invite? Who have I talked to? Who have I given this opportunity to? So let me give you a couple of stats. So you guys know that my husband is sort of a numbers guy. So when he thinks in terms of numbers, this is sort of the way he sees things. So keep in mind, first of all, that as coaches, when you look at Facebook, if that is your main outlet for networking, your newsfeed is naturally going to have a lot of Beachbody coaches in it because of the key words and the common words that you are using. Facebook is basically going to say, this is who you're interested in because this is what you're talking about. So your newsfeed has this sort of way of only being able to identify with other coaches. So all of a sudden, everybody in the room is a Beachbody coach. If you guys can just click mute real quick as you come on, that would be great. Okay, so let's talk some numbers, right? So in America, there are 200 million obese and overweight Americans. However, we as Beachbody are no longer just this weight loss company, right? It's a body company that is open to every single person. We try to encourage coaches not to sell Shakeology as a weight loss shake. It is a complete, all-natural meal replacement. So it is not meant for people who are simply looking to just lose weight. This is about complete health. So if you think about the bigger picture, there are 312 million people in the United States. Okay, let's say every coach does work their business. That's 330-ish thousand coaches. That still leaves 931 people per person, and only 3 are needed to hit Success Club. So that's the first one. So reconsider that only 1 in 10 people work their business. So that's like a working coach versus a hobby coach or a discount coach. That's 9,000 people per business building coach in America. So remember that you're running this business for quality and relationships, and it would freak out anyone who thought to themselves, I'm only seeing Beachbody coaches in my newsfeed. That's all they are. You need to stress that you are going to brand yourself. You are the person that is going to help the individual reach their goals. But it's going to take some creativity. It's going to take more contacts. It's going to take referrals. It's going to take that opportunity to get outside your comfort zone and find more people and look for new people. Okay, so with that sort of being said, I am going to send you a link that talks about other networking companies that are so much bigger than ours, that are really growing, and we are nowhere near that. We're in our infancy. So this, to me, is the prime time to be in this business, guys. We are on the verge of going global. You know, we have Canada and we have the United States. Our network hasn't reached Europe. It hasn't reached Australia. It hasn't reached the majority of the world. So if you ask me, now is the time. Now is the time to start working your business, start growing your business, so that when we are there, you already have this foundation built. All right, so that's one article I wanted to send you about saturation. All right, so okay, so let me give you another example of what you can say to someone if they say to you, you know what, Katie, I just feel like everybody I know is a Beachbody coach. Say something like this. You want to make sure you connect to them. You want to make sure that you relate to them. So say something like, oh gosh, Sarah, I know how you feel. I remember feeling that same way when I joined Beachbody 3 years ago. However, I have found that the company only has 350,000 coaches, or whatever it might be. And there are over 320 million people in the United States. Plus, we recently opened in Canada. The CEO of our company has stated from day one that he wants 1 million coaches, helping 100 million customers. So guess what? We're less than 1/3 of the way to reaching that goal. And it took us 8 years to get here. So there's plenty of opportunity. In fact, it's even better today because we have make a list of things you want to provide to your customer. Make some points there. And then you can also send them the article in which Carl blogs about the idea of saturation. So I'm going to send that over to you now. Hold, please. How are we doing so far? Am I doing okay? Good. Thumbs up. That's for you. You can copy and paste that. Make it your own. All right. So bottom line, we have the entire package, right? We have a way to help people financially. We have a way to help people physically meet their goals. And we, as the Knockout Brigade, have a way to help people connect to a team environment, to people that are sweating for a bigger cause, to people that have hearts behind the hustle. So remember that this investment is amazing, but go after it with ambition and with cause, and just have fun in the process of doing it. Okay? So saturation. Next time somebody says to you, I believe this market is saturated, do you feel like I can really talk otherwise? I can say otherwise. And if you say, oh, if one more person tells me that they already have a coach, you need to go find somebody else. Because even if that person has a coach, most people are not going to work the business like you are. So even if somebody has a coach, that doesn't mean that person is in it forever. It doesn't mean that coach is in it forever. So you're going to see shifts. You're going to see changes. But you have to keep this mentality. You have to believe. You have to believe 100% that this business is not saturated. Because if you're telling yourself that, because all you're seeing on Facebook is Beachbody coaches, and Katie Ersta posted again, and Kirsten Nuss posted again, and Kristen, and oh my God, all I see is Amanda and Tara and Danielle, you're going to lose your freaking mind. You're going to lose it. So get off of Facebook and find other outlets in which you can talk to people. And guess what? This whole world is going to open up to opportunity. Okay? Let's go with point 2. All right, so point 2 that I wanted to address with you guys tonight is signing discount coaches from the get-go. So this is a personal preference kind of thing. So for me, I offer it. I offer it to people from the beginning because I understand if they want to get 25% off. If you have someone that's giving you a price objection, offering the discounting opportunity to them from the beginning is really fair. You know, I just want people to offer that to me. But the other thing I do is I actually lead more with the coaching opportunity and fall back on the challenge groups. So I've been very honest with people about what I'm doing, you know, what the coaching opportunity is. You know, I tell people about how it's helped me physically, how it's helped me financially, how it's helped me emotionally. So even if you're like, well, I just kind of started, I don't know what I'm doing. Awesome. Awesome. You know why that's awesome? Is because you're just starting, and people are going to be like, well, if she's just starting, maybe I should just start. And if she's going to be successful, I want to go with her. I want to kind of do the same thing. You're kind of at an advantage with it, because sometimes people look at success and they distance themselves from it. They say, she's already got it. There's no way I can match it. There's no way I can do it. So put yourself in the position where you want to take people on the journey with you, right? So signing people as discount coaches right away is super easy. So this is what I actually say, and I'm going to send this all to you, is, okay, I am so excited for you to get started in the challenge group, but you know, I like to make an informed decision, and I really want to make sure you feel more comfortable and confident about your decision. So I'm going to give you all this information just so you can make the decision that works best for you. Okay, number one, you can sign up with a challenge pack as a customer, or you can sign up as a customer who is open to the idea of potentially helping others down the road and making an income as well. In doing this, you're going to save 25% on all orders, workouts, supplements, Shakeology. This is just an option that saves you a little bit more money. There is a specific picture, and if somebody reminds me, I'll send that to you tonight. And it's a great way to break down exactly what people are going to save monthly. So there's that for you. And the Google Doc that I added in there for you is the actual script I send people. Now notice this is too after I've sort of formed them in the conversation, and I know that they're ready to either sign up as a coach or as a customer. So it's really up to them. I know if you're working towards Emerald or if you're working towards Diamond, this is another great option for you as well as you're building that team underneath you. And to be totally honest, there are a lot of you that I'm watching on this call tonight who started as discount coaches. Heather, I know for sure, she was like, I don't need that Shakeology. She was taking some kind of It Works, or I don't know. What was it? I don't remember. She was taking some kind of garbage. And then I was like,
Body by V.
That's the one. That's the one. She was like, it tastes like cake batter. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I love you. I love you. I turned you over. But she started off as the discount, right? So I'm pretty sure you did. Or did you come to it? I can't remember now, Heather.
Yeah. So I was going to buy Insanity from the infomercial, but I told you I'd rather buy it from somebody I knew, and then you swindled me into a challenge bag. Just kidding. But I tried it without tasting it first, and then I've never turned back.
Yep. And I think, who else do I have? Kirsten was a discount coach for a long time before she ever worked the business. I think Amanda kind of signed up as a discount. Liz sort of did it first. Sarah did it first. So when you say discount coach and you put them in a group environment, in a team environment, and they go, this is kind of cool. Wait, I can find 3 people. You know, I might be able to do this. I might be really good at this. There's a really good chance that they're going to fall in love with the business and want to do it as well. So don't discount your discounts, you know, just offer the opportunity for them with a confidence and a knowledge that they could totally take off with this business. All right, so next point, and if I don't get to them all, I'm really going to try to. Okay, price objection. Who has ever gotten a Shakeology price objection? Who is still getting Shakeology price objections? Everybody, right? It's so normal. People are not objecting the price. They are objecting the fact that they don't understand the value, right? So how can we counteract that? You're still going to get objections. Not everybody is going to want to invest money in their health. That's the bottom line. That's not on you, but there are ways that you can prevent this from happening as much as it does. So the first thing is you have to have armor. You have to be able to arm yourself with an understanding of what Shakeology is. So where do you find that kind of information? your Coach Online Office, the marketing tools, the product tools. If you go in there, you click on the left-hand side, you click Shakeology, there are videos upon videos of testimonials. Carl talking about Shakeology and why he takes it every day. There are challenger testimonials. There are coach testimonials. There are story upon story upon story. You can go into YouTube and you can find hundreds, and I mean hundreds of testimonials about Shakeology. So the first step is understanding that this is a product that works. It is not a quick fix. It is not a weight loss shake. It is not something that you can buy on the shelf of Walmart next to the Slim Fast shakes. You have to understand what you are putting into your body. So how do you do that? When you open up your first bag of Shakeology, when your customers open that up, they get a pamphlet. And in that pamphlet, on the very last page, is a sort of a timeline that allows them to see their progression and what changes they notice over a 4-week span. Have them do that. Have them record to you every week what they're noticing. So what's going to happen is your challengers are going to start seeing results, and you're going to encourage them to sort of start talking about it. Share it with other people. You know, oh, your hair is growing faster? That's really cool. You know, I bet that has something to do with the nutrients in Shakeology. I know that from my experience, and plug in your personal experience. You want to make sure that you also have a personal experience with Shakeology. So what are things that you noticed when you started taking Shakeology? How did it change when you started taking Shakeology? Did you notice a change in energy? Did you notice a change in digestion? Were your cravings cut? Maybe you are someone who's like, I hated the flavor of Shakeology, couldn't stand it. Well, how did you counter that? You know, what was it about the fact that you were taking Shakeology and you didn't like the flavor? You start talking to your customers about the fact that it was all natural. Your body was not used to a natural vanilla flavor. You like the artificial, you like the chemicals. So when your body is like, what is this? You kind of went into shock. You know, if you had an adjustment period when you started Shakeology, you want to share that with people. You want to talk to people about that. So how often do you share it? You know, this is sort of that indirect invite. So this is that jab, 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 right hook. So if you're consistently talking about Shakeology, and not every day, but about 2 times a week, maybe 3 times a week, you put a post in there about Shakeology and how it has helped you, people are going to remember that. But don't just slap a picture of Shakeology and say, this is my bottle of Shakeology. I drink Shakeology. What does it do for you? You need to have that armor of what Shakeology does to you so that you don't get as many price objections. All right, so here is another article. So this is an article that I wrote about how I could afford Shakeology. So I'm going to share that with you. And then another point that I didn't bring up that I wanted to is that you have to break down the cost for them. I know Taylor's not on this call tonight, but she talks a lot about how she was a Starbucks addict. So she would go to Starbucks almost every day, sometimes twice a day, and she would spend between $4 and $8 at Starbucks. So when her husband said, okay, you want to buy Shakeology, what are you going to cut out? It was like, well, I'll cut out the Starbucks. It makes sense. But you have to put that into perspective. What are you getting for $4 a day? You are getting a complete meal replacement. You are not getting a protein shake. You are getting something that is all natural, loaded with superfoods from around the world that is going to allow you to cut, reduce your cravings. It's going to help you have more energy. It's going to change your digestion. It's going to promote weight loss. So there's quite a few things in there that you need to be able to arm yourself with when you're talking about it. Did I miss anything? Do you guys have anything that you wanted me to touch on with that? Is it helping? Okay, cool. Am I going too fast? All right, let's talk something about recruitment for a minute, right? I just posted this. We're running a group right now with a couple of upcoming leaders about recruitment, and I posted a call by Leanne Ruff. And I'm going to post the call in the KB too, because it's such a phenomenal call. It's so, so good. But I think when you want to recruit people to your organization, the best thing that you can do is look at yourself first. And so I'm going to ask you some questions that I want you to think about for a minute. And while I'm asking you these questions, if any one of these questions stick out to you, just write it down. Okay, so first question, would I actually be a good coach? Number 2, do I lead by example? Number 3, what do I have to offer? Number 4, do I have a vision for this business? 5, am I connected to a bigger purpose? 6, I want you to go to your wall after the call, and I want you to ask yourself, do I stand out? Am I different? And number 7, this is one where only you can answer. This is one where only you can say if you're actually doing it or not. And I really want you to think about it. Are you actually inviting? Are you directly and indirectly inviting? Are you tracking your business? Are you actually doing it? So I'm asking you these questions because it's an opportunity for you to reflect on some things that you may need to easily shift and change in your business. Recruitment starts with confidence. And you have to feel like you have something to offer someone. You have to know that you are a good match for someone. You have to think to yourself, if somebody came up to you and said, I need help financially, I want to be successful in this business, do you believe you could help them? The best way to know if you could help someone is if you're willing to lead by example. Those tough questions, right? Those are sometimes things that you just think about and you reflect on and you say, okay, Katie, you know what? You're right. I don't track my business. Or you're right. I am not doing 2 to 3 invites a day. Or, you know, I'm only inviting on my wall. And guys, I'm saying this to you because this is stuff that I have done. This is stuff that I look at sometimes and say, I'm not doing this enough. If I see a kind of like a change in my business or something happen in my business where I feel like I'm falling back, it goes back to the basics. It goes back to, am I inviting? Am I directly inviting? And am I indirectly inviting? So let me show you an image real quick. Let me find it. Oh, wait, I wanted to show you that one too. Oh, I'll share that with you. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second to find the image for you. Oh no, it's not going to let me. I'll find it at some point. Nope. All right, I'll come back to that. Okay, so let me give you a couple tips for recruitment, okay? So remember, this is about relationships, about forming relationships. You need to focus on talking to people, being the one who listens. So the person asking the questions controls the conversation. That's you. You want to be the one inquiring more about them. You are focused on being more interested than you are on being more interesting. So when you ask someone a question, give them the opportunity to reflect and come to different conclusions. Don't attack someone's personal beliefs or help them find a better way. Keep it simple. You don't want to focus on having all the answers. You want to focus more on your relationship. You want to focus more on the friendship. Objections are going to happen, but objections are just somebody's way of saying, I need more information. You need to give me more. You need to believe and visualize your success. And the other thing that I think sometimes people want to do is they want to beg. They want to beg people to be a Beachbody coach. You don't want to beg. If you beg someone to be a Beachbody coach, you're going to beg them to post in their challenge groups. You're going to beg them to, stay active. You're going to beg them to participate in your challenges or whatever it might be. Don't beg people. You're better than that. You have a lot going on. You have the goods. You have an amazing business. You're an amazing coach. Do not think that you need to beg people to be a part of your team. You're above that. Do not do that. Instead, focus on why would this person be an asset to the team? And if they don't want to do it, you move on. You simply refocus on other goals and you go. All right? Be okay either way. If somebody says no to you, it's all good. If somebody says yes to you, welcome to the team with open arms. Here are coming your way 2 scripts. One script is just a script of a conversation that I have to talk about the business. The second one I'm giving you is actually my friend, my success partner, Val. Every time she does a business opportunity post on her wall, she saves it into this file. And so she has these amazing posts. I would take a look at them and think, okay, like how could I do something like this? How could I post something like this? How could I make this my own? How could I make this original? So take a look at some of those examples, open them up and see what you think. All right, next point I want to go to, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on, customer service. So let's talk about customer service for a couple minutes. I have been told for the last year that they're improving customer service. I'll be honest, it hasn't improved. It's a sticking point, and I know that, and I know there's issues, and I know that there's things that they do that you get frustrated with. I know that there's things that that are just annoying. They were supposed to ship on this date. This coach should be active. They're not active. This order didn't process the way that it should have, or whatever the issue is. Here's what I can tell you. When you're dealing with customer service and you have a customer involved, the very, very best thing that you can do is get on the phone with Coach Relations and have that customer do a 3-way chat with you. Call in that customer. It does a couple things. Number one, you know what the issue is more than your customer does. So if your customer or your coach, your discount coach, or whoever it might be is having an issue and you understand the bigger picture, you kind of know where Coach Relations sort of dropped the ball, get on the phone and guide that customer or that coach through the conversation. And at the end, you say to the Coach Relations rep, you say, you know what, I want to make sure that this customer is satisfied. What can we do to make sure they are? Can we send them some P90X bars or something so that we can ensure them this doesn't happen again? Just take that extra step. Just go that little extra mile to let them know that you're on their side. That even if Coach Relations drop the ball with them, you are, as their coach, going to do everything in your power to change that. So yes, we're dealing with Coach Relations. We're dealing with growth. We're dealing with all of these issues that are kind of thrown our way. But we make the best of it. And the best way that I can advise for you to do that is just to kind of be the positive customer service, to be that person who's kind of going to be the middleman for understanding the issues that are kind of coming about. So I didn't want to spend a lot of time on that, but I kind of wanted you guys to know that that was my thoughts on that. All right, and then the last point that I wanted to address with you is goal setting. So I was so excited that someone brought this up because this is such a big one. Because it reminds me of when I was teaching, one of the first things that I learned when I was teaching was this idea of backward by design. So basically that meant you start with the end in mind and you work backwards to create a curriculum and objectives that need to be met in order for the curriculum to kind of come to fruition. So backwards meant, okay, what do I want my students to be able to do by the end of 7th grade? And then I work backwards and I create units, and at each unit I would create different objectives that would meet certain standards. So it's the same with your Beachbody business. As a coach, you should have personal goals. You should have business goals. You should have financial goals. You should have fitness goals too. You should have all those types of goals, but you need to start with the end in mind. So by that, I mean, what does that look like to you? What does the end result look like to you? You know, if you have a weight loss goal, what is that? And why is it important to you? And when you visualize it, how does it feel when you've achieved that goal? Why does your goal matter to you? Is it connected to a deeper purpose? So once you have that goal in your mind and you know what it looks like, you can start setting the benchmarks to be able to achieve it. So for example, let's say that your goal is to make $200 a week as a Beachbody coach. What does that $200 provide to you and your family? Why is that $200 a week important to you? What will you be able to do then that you aren't able to do now because you don't have the $200? Once you have that goal in your head, you post it. You have it in front of you every day, reminding you, why do I want to do this? Why am I doing this? Why am I posting? Why am I inviting? Why am I doing this? And when you look up, your answer is in front of you. Your answer is right there. And when you have that answer, you're like, I'm good. I'm ready to keep going. I want to keep going. But it's about setting those benchmarks along the way. It's about setting the smaller goals and focusing on that driving towards daylight. Driving towards daylight. So winning each day and going to bed and saying, I am one step closer to my goal. I am one step closer to my goal. And every day when you're saying that to yourself, you're going to get to your goal. You're going to achieve it. And then what happens when you get to your goal? You set bigger goals. You dream bigger. That's the beauty of this business, is you just keep going with it. You keep setting goals, you keep growing, you keep learning, you keep going. I definitely wanted to talk a little bit about that goal setting. And if you have not talked to your upline coach about what some of those goals are, I encourage each of you to do that. Your upline should know what those goals are, because your upline, their job is to hold you accountable to it. They need to ask permission and say, all right, I know what your goal is. Do I have permission to hold you accountable to it? So that when you are off track, or you're having those days where you feel like I'm just not winning today, your coach is able to encourage you and inspire you and help you and keep you on track, keep you on that path to your goal. Goals matter in this business. If not, you're just kind of like taking shots in the dark. You're not really sure where you're going with it. You're not really sure what you're doing with it. You have to have your goals in mind, and they have to be connected to a bigger purpose. If you really want to talk about goal setting, Chalene Johnson's 30-day push, I think it's just called 30daypush.com, is a great way. It starts the first of every month. It is a great tool for you to really start thinking about bigger goals, really start thinking about how you can achieve those goals, how you can get closer to ultimate success, so to speak. And then lastly, one thing that I wanted to talk about just for 1 second, I think that's all I had on that, is that, this is 100%, your business. So you want to make sure that you're living your life according to your truth and love your life based on what you want to be remembered for. When you are posting and when you're talking to people, have that confidence that you're part of an amazing organization, you stand firm in not just the products, but the people that you're surrounded by. And it's almost like it's selfish not to share that. It's almost like if you aren't giving this opportunity to someone, you are preventing them from potentially having a better life. And that's not cool. Like, that's just not cool. So why wouldn't you want to share it? And then the last thing is, the burnout. And this happens, right? When you get to a point sometimes where you feel like I'm working so hard, you want to remember those goals and your priorities. Your priorities should be those little babies I see in the background, or your husband or your spouse or your family. I never want you to be a part of this organization and feel like you're burning out because you're losing focus. You find a balance. Your why should never get in the way of building a business, ever. So when you're saying to yourself, my purpose, my kids, or my husband, or whatever, if they're coming second because you're trying to build this business, and I might be totally different in the way that I think about this, but I've learned a lot about life in the last year, so I feel like I can say it very honestly. You have to balance. You have to balance this business with all of the other things that are going on. And if you find you're out of balance, take a deep breath, step away, and then come back to it rejuvenated. Do some personal development, okay? There'll be no burnout on this team. We need you. We need you to be fresh, ready to go, feeling motivated. So do you feel like these tips sort of helped? Do you feel like it was a call worth your time and the information helped too? Does anyone have anything else they want to ask or to add? You can unmute if you have to. No? All right, do I have anything?
Oh, I have a question too.
Sure. What's going on, friend?
So when you're promoting to someone to be a discount coach,
yeah,
you say something about the ongoing kind of website fee as well, or am I confused about that? Does that not apply to them?
Yeah. So the ongoing website fee is your $15.95 membership fee. That's covered. So that $15.95, the same fee that any coach pays, that is that fee. So it's almost like I would describe it as like a Costco membership. You pay a membership fee, like to be a part of, to have that discount. Does that make sense?
When you're telling them that you have the 25% off, you also kind of include, but there will be a $15 membership fee every month.
I do. Yep, I do include that for sure. And I do say it. I say, hey, I just so you know, at full discretion, you will be charged $15.95 a month to receive this 25% discount. But I do know that it's still going to save you. And I have the image. I had it up and I was trying to find it exactly what it is. But it will save you. It will save you $99.24 over 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of do the math for them usually, and I just say, like, for instance, Shakeology itself is, let's say, $132 or something like that. With the 25% discount, it brings it down to like $99. So even with their fee, I just kind of let them know that they're still saving a boatload of money. Plus, it gives them the potential that even if they don't plan on being an actual active coach, that, you know, when someone says, hey, you look great, what are you doing? Then you can confidently say what you're doing and maybe even get a sell from it. So it kind of goes a long way.
Yep. For sure. Cool. What else? Hi, Liz.
Hey, I have a silly question. So I am listening to you on my phone. Is there any way to get these links, I don't know, posted, all the stuff that you sent? Because I am with technology. I didn't save it.
And you know, because I love you, that I typed up all of these notes and I'm just going to like give them to you.
You're my hero. I love you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll actually post the recording and then tomorrow in the Knockout Brigade. So I'll post the recording, I'll upload it to YouTube, And then I'll take this link and I'll probably just add it to the files and then I'll put it in the comment section too.
So helpful. You're the best.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to add to Leanne Ruff's call on recruitment because it was really good.
It was really, really good. I loved it.
Cool. Yeah, it was a little long. It was like 56 minutes, but it was definitely one that's worth listening to for sure.
It took me like 4 hours because of my kids today to get through it, but it was a good one.
But remember that balance piece of it too.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time to be listening. So,
pew pew. No, I mean, it was, I'm not. It took a long time. It was like 5 minutes. I had to stop, Now.
Gotcha. Cool. Awesome. Do you guys have anything else for me tonight? No? Okay. Do you feel like you can use some of these tips? You can put them into practice?
So, am I allowed to?
Hi, Sarah.
Hi. So, when we were talking about like the saturation in coaches, I had somebody who about a month ago I asked, and she's like, oh, I have a coach. So I just asked her, invited her the other day, and she said her coach doesn't do anything. Just sold her the challenge pack. Didn't tell her about Shakeology. She hates Shakeology, but she has like sugar thing. I was like, well, it's probably because you're used to just eating sugar and not. So the whole thing, her coach just didn't do anything. Just sold her the challenge pack and that's it. So a lot of people, when they say, oh yeah, I have a coach, they may not actually have a coach.
Yeah. And I do ask, I'm very honest with people, and I do ask, are you working with a coach? And I word it like that. And they'll say, well, I ordered through a coach. And then I again ask, well, are you working with them?
Okay.
Or are you enrolled in a challenge group? Or are you, fill in the blank. So I'm pretty forthright with that, Sarah, because you're right. There are people that will just sign up people. And if you're truly invested in helping people and you want to help people get results and you're investing time in someone, I don't think it's wrong for you to say, listen, this is what I do. This is what I offer. If you are not working with a coach and you put it in their court, you say, you're not working with a coach, please let me know and I'd be more than happy to work with you.
Okay. Works.
Yeah, for sure. And I know other coaches have different ways of looking at that, but I know that's how I do it. So.
Hey, Katie.
Hey.
Do you have a particular strategy when you're building your team, when you're, just in general, when you're building your team, do you have a strategy on how you go about it? Certain goals for each week of the month or certain goals just for each month?
Yeah. So I know Michaeline's going to touch more on this next week in our foundations group, the foundations group. So mind you, my goal has kind of shifted this month because of the goal that we're working towards as a team. So it is a little bit different. But what I usually do at the beginning of the month is I focus on enrolling people in a challenge group. I sign them up as either a discount coach or challenger. And then the last 2 weeks of the month, I focus on business opportunity. So I focus on my upcoming coach apprenticeship. I focus on, doing business opportunity calls. There are months that I'll do 5-day fitness business boot camp. So I focus on that at the end of the month. And the reason I do that is because the beginning of the month, I focus on kind of like getting my Success Club points done. And so the second part of the month, I can focus on kind of the icing on the cake, so to speak, and converting a lot of current challengers into coaches if they don't already have a discount coach account. Or if I have discount coaches that are like, well, I want to kind of know what coaching is. Can you tell me more about it? And so I'll talk to them about the opportunity of actually working the business. So that's sort of my strategy throughout the month. I tend to run Coach Basics at the beginning, but I have changed it a little bit, and now it's just going to be done in the general Facebook page starting in September. I don't know if you noticed that, those changes being done. But that's really what I do. That's what I sort of focus on. Does that help?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Do you guys have anything else for me tonight? All right, so what I'll do is I will upload